so back to code with Gabriel section, and in this module we are going to talk about class in JavaScript. So everything in life we believe is based on class. So from human, even human have a class, and our two primary class is class of male and class of female. So what is the attributes that we are going to find in the class of male? So we have thick voice, beards, and ability to reproduce and to fill in some kind of a reproduction system, and that's all. So let's go back to female. What are the attributes? So the attributes, I don't know, the body posture, which is different. So in some kind of a non-similarity objects we can find in them that is really different to our own. And also, if you really dig deep, our ability to carry pregnancy. So we know if a male actually carry pregnancy inside his stomach, we know something is wrong, so we need to see the doctor for that to really know what is going on. But if a female does, we know it's a normal thing, it's a natural thing. So skills, proper, to know how to cook. So I'll just add that so to make this fun. That's funny. All right, so let's just go ahead and talk about class. So everything in life is based on class. So animal belongs to another class, and we can say we have reptile. So what's the class of reptile? Okay, cold-blooded animal. Okay, um actually having some kind of those stuff. You see, everything's just based on class. That's where I want to put it on. So for me to really do this, I'm just going to do class of car. So if I create a class in JavaScript, you can create class by using the class keyword and say class of car, and make sure that your class is actually in your uppercase form followed by the parentheses. So the how class works is that inside a class we can have a method and a property. So property are like the variable, so the methods are like what the car can do with the property. So let me just go ahead and use a car in real life scenario. So in real life scenario, let's say we have a Volvo car or a BMW car. So what are the property? So the property is that it's going to have a color based on what we choose. The our favorite maybe is yellow, black, white, or what. And another property that we can see is that it's going to contain glass. Another property we can see that is going to contain tire, and the windscreen, the iron screen, the reverse light, the fog lights, and so on like that. So what is the method of this car? So the method of the car is that it can move, it can stop, it can accelerate due to some kind of technical mechanism that is being put there, and that is how to actually understand how class work. So let's do class of car. So let's just go ahead and begin to invoke some variable. So how do we invoke variables in class? So in this class, let's say we can use the let keyword. It's supposed to throw an error to us. Color is equals to red. This is really what you really want to do right before time. And let's just see what is up with this guy. When we refresh this, you can see we have an error to say on catch, syntax error, unexpected handler, and if you try to check, it's going to refer to where we declared it. So this is not really nice, we know that for real. So rest in case, it does works more like this. So this is how it works more like this rather than just putting it. And when it's come to the use of a method, so function in class is called method, and that is how you should really think of it, that what is the function of a car? Okay, to move forward, to move backward, then to stop. So those are functions. So we either call it a function, you call it method. So the technical language for it is called method, which really seems nice to me to use rather than just random function like that. So let's say we have move. You don't do function move. JavaScript is going to throw error at us again, say you have error. If you check our console, it say we have an unexpected identifier, else we do it like this, nothing like that. So refresh this and everything is fine, no problem with our code, everything is okay. So let's just go ahead and do this. So we have color to be red, and let's say we have what kind of attribute again can I put it? Color to be red, weight. Okay, if I weight is to be 300, okay, let me say 500 kilogram, like that. So that's all we'll go. And there the attributes that we want to have is move. So then right here, maybe you want to have stop, and here we want to have reverse. Okay, this is not this is really nice, and each of them can actually hold some kind of a function they are doing. Say okay, we can say I am moving, we can say console the log here, say okay, I stopped, and right here I can say console the log here to say okay, let's reverse reverse. I am reversing. Look at what I did, reverse not reserve, reverse. All right, so now we already have a class. This is how you can have a class in JavaScript. So now we already have a class whereby there is an attribute and there is a method. So how do we go ahead and actually get this value? Because when we actually load this, nothing is happening, and that is because before we can go ahead and call our class, and that is where class invocation comes in, we need to create an instance of that class. So we now say let's, so an instance of that class is going to be our, okay, let's just say for example, what is an instance of an animal? We can say dog is an instance of an animal. So when it comes to class, what is an instance of a class? We can say Toyota is an instance of a car, BMW is an instance of a car, and some other like that. So we can say let's, so Volvo or BMW, so let's just use BMW, let's use Volvo, is equal to, okay, new car, and that's all. So now if we actually want to get anything, we can say Volvo dot color. So now we can get the color of our Volvo, like that. So let's just go ahead and console the log this and see what is going to happen. The Volvo dot color, and if you refresh this now, you see we have red. We can say, so right here we can just go ahead and append this message, which really makes it look really nice rather than this. Okay, the color of Volvo is so the color of Volvo is red, which really looks really nice. And we can say the weight of Volvo is, then we don't want to get this, we can say weight, like there. Then we need to append the kg to it because weight is measured in kilogram. So let's refresh this. So let's say the weight of Volvo is 500 kg. Okay, and let's go ahead and get some method of Volvo. So okay, enough of that, we know this Volvo, so let's go ahead and move this. You can say Volvo dot move. As a matter of start, I can say start, but let's just use move, still the same thing. So if you refresh it, say okay, I am moving right now. So we know for sure that our Volvo, in fact, let's really make this look really nice and refresh this. So it say okay, I am moving now. So the Volvo, we know for sure it is moving. So it's okay, it's time to stop this Volvo. We can say Volvo dot stop. So we say okay, I stopped now. So it's okay, I stopped now. Then we can say all right, let's reverse. We can say Volvo dot reverse. If I got that for real, I think I couched that reverse. Oh my god, I think I reverse verse, not serve. Why I keep pressing else? Oh my god, reverse Volvo. Okay, so it's a, let's reverse. I am reversing now. So, and that is how things can actually work. So you can say, okay, once you are done reversing, then stop again. Volvo dot stop. So this really looks really nice, because most of the things that you see out there in programming real world, they are actually programmed like this in class. Most of them, once you are actually dealing with object-oriented programming language, not just some functional project or project functional-oriented programming language, and that is how class works. So just want to give you the basics of class. Sorry for that. And there are other things that you can see is there. After declaring all this like that, we can decide to create another class, another instance of this class that belong to this class. So let's see, we can say let's Toyota now, and Toyota, if I can type equals to new car. So obviously it's new car, and seriously, we know that Toyota is going to inherit from this class, so it's going to have the color of red and everything. So Toyota might feel like you want to decide to set its own, and that is where things really goes in handy when it comes to the use of our class. So let's just say the first thing that Toyota wants to do is that rather than doing this, I want to say uh Toyota dot color. So Toyota feel like I'm not using red, I need to use blue, and we can set it up right here, say blue. Then we can say now to console.log console.log Toyota dot color. You can see we have blue here, so maybe we should really pass a very nice message here. Say okay, Toyota color is like there, Toyota dot color, then concatenate it. Let's rephrase it. Toyota color is blue, so rather than having red, Toyota actually comes in and manipulates its own. But yet we both know that Toyota is still a car, it still belongs to the class of car. And that is how you can actually go ahead and do this right here, make all this thing happen within this code. So let me just clear off this. We've seen the basis of class. Let's go ahead and make things complicated by showing you more of other things that you need to know concerning JavaScript class. So there is something called a constructor. A constructor allows a class to construct. Okay, a constructor, it usually allows a class to have a predefined variable, to have a predefined value. So let's say the first thing we want to get is color, then the second one that we want is the weight right now, and we can say okay, this dot color is equals to the color. We can also say this dot color is equal, sorry, UI color again, my bad, my attention is shifting, it's equals to the weight. All right, so what we do right here is that okay, whenever we want to have a class over whatsoever Toyota of everything, then we can just go ahead and say okay, instead of doing instead of manipulating the value of color, the property of color on the like the Toyota does, so we just want to set it within the constructor, then move on. So we can add the method and say okay, first get property. So we can say get property, and for real, when we are getting the property, what we just want to do is that we want to console.log color is, so right here we need to have color is plus this dot color, and then we want to contour the log. Weight is plus this dot weight, and let's break this down to really allows it to really make more sense. And that is how we can just create. So to make this really simple, we can just create let's Volvo now equal to new car, and right now the car is expecting us to set two parameters, which is the first thing is the color. So the color is red again, then we need to set the weight to be 300 or possible, and we can just go ahead and say Volvo dot get property. I'm having bad feelings that this is going to throw an error to us, and the reason why I'm feeling that way is that probably because of the difficulty with the regular function. Because this is regular function, we can also use arrow function either too. Let's refresh this, and so far so good, there is no error, it works. So you can see now we are having the property get property right now. So automatically it said okay, the color is red and the weight is 300. We need to append kg. The weight is 300 kilogram, kg, like that. Okay, so it really makes things really easy that each time an object, we call an object to actually be an instance of a class, we need to set property. So let's see what happens if we don't set a property for it. We just decide to call it like we does before, and right now it's telling us that it is undefined, and this is what is going to happen. It's going to tell us okay, the variable that you are expecting, it is actually undefined, it is not really defined, and we can reverse this by Ctrl Z. Everything is fine again. So instead of manipulating value like that, so let's just create another instance of the class now. So we're going to call that one Toyota is equals to new car. Then we now come with blue, and my property is 500. Then I can say Toyota dot get property. So and let's see what the boat is going to have. So it's fine now. So we both know that color is this color is blue and the weight is 500 kg. Different, but yet we are able to create the same mechanism, right? Embedding them into each other, and it's working fine. So to wrap up this quick for you, we can even set up another parameter that say firstly the name. So we need to get the name of the car, and we can just go ahead and say this dot name equals to name. We can just come to the log. So this dot name. So okay, so we need to supply the name now. So what is the name for this car? This one is Volvo. What is the name for this car? This one is Toyota. I should refresh that. So we have profile for Volvo, everything is fine here. Then Toyota, it's really happening here. So don't be confused. The same way you can put this on console, you can put this on inner HTML if you decide to, but just for the scope of this tutorial, I feel like it's faster using the browser console, and that is why I'm using this. I'm sorry for that, that's my bad. So let's just see how a class can extend to another class. So to extend a class, maybe you don't want to create an instance, but you want to extend to a class. What you can do, you can say class of Volvo extend to car, and that's it. So we can now go ahead and probably maybe this really want to have some kind of property by itself. Okay, get name, you can say get name here, and this one's come to the log, and keep on telling us something that okay, I am Volvo. So we can create a function right within the parent class. So this is the supreme class, this is extended class. We print and say send message console.log. So we can say console.log okay, we can say, so get message right here. We can say I'm thinking of something to say right here to really create a link between the Volvo class, the Volvo, not Volvo, the Volvo class and the class of X. Okay, okay, this is a car. All right, so let's just deal with the file here right now. So maybe we have some kind of, this is, so we have a get name, and right here we can desire to be like, so the name, then we can say gets year, or let me see here, gets year. So we can just console.log. Okay, let me create a constructor for this class too now. So we can have a constructor too if we want to actually inherit from the super constructor. So we just use the super like that. So it's going to inherit the same constructor that we set up here, and from here we can decide to be using this dot name, then it's going to work. So for now we just don't want to do that. We really just want to extend this to this class, so we don't want to inherit that. Maybe some in other video tutorial I'm going to show you how to do that. So let's just set the name and the year right here, so we can have Volvo of different versions. So that is why I'm doing this. So this dot name equals to name, this dot year equals to the year. All right, so we can return this dot year, get name, I put year, this dot name, right here we can return this the year. All right, so finally we can now create an instance of a class. So instead of creating an instance of a class that belongs to the class itself, we can say let's older Volvo is equals to new Volvo. Then we need to pass in the name. So the name of this car, even though we know it is Volvo, but the year is probably 1990. We can see that is actually really a very long year for us. Then we can say older Volvo dot get name. So we're going to get the name, and older Volvo again dot get we can get the year now, get year. So finally we can now say older, this is where it comes from, older Volvo dot and then send message. So this is really nice now. So let's refresh this now. Hopes this is not returning from the derived constructor. Must call super constructor in the yeah exactly. So I forgot because I remember that I have something to do. Let me just comment this out first and see how this works before we do that. I don't want to bore you with that. What's this? Call mode super class and derived. This is not returning derived constructor of new Volvo. Okay, probably because I refuse to do the super. Okay, so it works now. I refuse to do the super, and I know it's supposed to be called, but I'm just trying to test things out here. All right, let's see this how this will work out. So this really is very helpful in a situation whereby maybe we have so many versions of Volvo to tell to set up. So we are older version like that, so we can get the name that we set and the year that we set, and you can see we have the name and the year to be 1990. Also we can create another version that's a new one, maybe it's created in 2021. So let's go ahead and unleash this guy here. So when we say volvo.sendMessage, so even though the send message function, or let me say method, are supposed to be called, is not really located inside the class of volvo, which we create an instance here. It's located in the supreme class, which is the real class, because this class is called an extended class. The volvo class is an extended class to cars, and that is, in real life we know volvo is a car and it's extended to the class of car. Yeah, that's it. So we can able to go ahead and inherit the property. As a matter of fact, we can even do more by inheriting this guy right here. Probably there, we can say this of start move. So let's see, older volvo dot move. So it say okay, I am moving. Can you see now? We can say older volvo dot stop, and right before then everything is really working fine. So if we create the same things, I'm just going to copy this because of time right now. That's why I'm rushing, because class is very very important. So instead of having all this older holder, I'm just going to eradicate it, turn to volvo, and it's create in 2021. So everything is still going to work. Syntax volvo has already been declared. Yeah, I can't use the name that is already been declared. So new. So let us grab out this guy. Oh my god, that's bad, that's my bad. New, then let's grab this. New. Okay, volvo new to work now. It works fine now. So this really works in the ways that we can now have different version of volvo that belongs to the same class and inherit from the supreme class. So same thing, if you want to create toyota, we can just say class of toyota extends then to car again, then we go ahead and do whatsoever. So I'm going to leave this as an assignment for you. So go ahead and create class of toyota and see how you can go ahead and do a link up with this. So let me just create something really the last one I'm going to talk about when it comes to class in javascript, and that is what we call static. So let's see how the static class work. So static message, and if you do now, we should have um, a error right now, and that is because static, when I use the static keyword, which means that I created a mechanism whereby I say, okay, if somebody is going to extend to this class, they should not have the privilege to use this send message, and that is why we are having a type error that this does send message is not a function. So because it is not a static variable, it's a static function now, a method now. It's a static method now that it is not accessible in an extended classes. So this class right here, they cannot get it anymore, but as soon as I unleash it back, leave it, so they can now get it now. So maybe you feel like there is a private method in the supreme class that you don't want the extend class to really have access to, so you use static, or a variable that you don't want them to change, like maybe so this kind of this dot please, so you can just, or this constructor you actually don't want it to have access to it, so you turn it to static, so they will not have access to any variable that is coming here. Because hopefully for us, we've not actually inherit much of constructor, but if you really need it, really need to get the value, it's just for us to say this dot here. So if you're this dot weight, you can say get weight. So let's just see get weight eight. I don't know if this is what, but let's see first. Seeing is believing. I've did this for a very long time, very long time, and everything is still fresh in my head. I wonder how I'm able to manage that. Dot get weight. So that's my target. Let's see if you don't have any error per se. So it said the weight is undefined, and that is true because the weight is actually undefined. Yeah, and that is because we didn't actually embed the weight right here, so that is why it is undefined, and nobody from the class or anything is setting up the weight for us, and everything is inside a static constructor. Let's just clear this. Why do I want to do this? This is bad. So it is undefined for real because if we actually want to set there, if we really want to set the weight, we need to extend in a way that probably, I don't know, this is bad. I'm just thinking of it by myself. So let's do the name Volvo. I think he's asking for the color red and the weight is 300. This is bad. I know it's convincing that without new. Let's see. Let's add new. I know it's going to be car is not a constructor of none at stand. I know it's going to throw an error, so just want to tease JavaScript out. Sometimes you question programming language, you try your own logic way to see how the integrity of the programming language is. So I did that a lot to complicate a lot of skills in. So it's undefined. Yeah, truly it's undefined. If we want it to be defined, then we need to add it within this. So you can use the new name. So where is it? We need to add it here. So if we are looking for the weights, we just add the weight here. It's very simple. If you want to use it, so we can now say this dot weight is equals to the weight now. So you really expect them to set the weight to be, this one is 300, so 300. So we are advanced now. This one is 500. So if you check this up, so it's going to work now. Say 300, the weight is 300 now, and that's it. So that's all you need to know about classes in JavaScript. I've tried my best to manage to explain everything. Yeah, I can guarantee it. This is everything that you need to know about class in JavaScript. All right, this is going to be the end of today. Probably tomorrow I'm going to record another one, so and send everything, load you up with everything that you guys really need to sit down and learn at your own player time. So thank you. See you in the next tutorial.